We're very glad, Brother Booker T. Coleman, to have you in our studios today as we begin the first in a series of world history from an African-centered perspective, understanding that Africa is central to understanding the evolution and the civilization and civilizations which man has evolved and built. So, Brother Booker T, today, if you would for us, please begin talking with us about the African origins of man and how man developed in Africa.
You know, what's interesting with the question is that the question itself, you might answer it being earthbound, but what we're attempting to do is look at it holistically. And what we've come to realize is that what we've attempted to do is to put the world, this is a small version, I have a larger version of this, but basically what this does is that it breaks up the cosmic reality or it creates a cosmic year. And the top map is a map of this great cosmic African year. And the bottom one is of a specific month. And as an educator in the Board of Ed here in New York, and just in general being interested in education, I find that even if we were to deal with humanity, humanity is a very late creation when you think of the entire cosmic reality. It is very difficult to understand man without the history of human because we are part of that cosmic evolutionary cycle. It is almost impossible just to look at the earth. When we look at the Dogon, we look at the Kemite, we look at the Bambara, you can go to Central Africa, the Kuba, Kuba peoples, you can go to the Maasai of Kenya, you can look at a number of African traditions. And what you will notice is that they go beyond just an earth scope. They look at themselves as universal beings, that Earth just happens to be a satellite moving through the cosmos, of which we all happen to be astronauts. Because when you look at the word astronaut and astronomy itself, you're dealing with Ast, which is the feminine principle of the origin, of determination of course her name is Aset. From Ast you have Ra, which is the essence of star power, and Astra, and then you have Numo, or Numa, which gives the impression from Dogon of the origins of life in water. So astronomy, even of itself, we can come back into an African tradition, an African word, uniting Ast, Ra, Numo, which talks about the female principle being in the waters and the energy coming from this, Ast, Ra, Numi. So when we look at this and we break it up into the year, if we were to say, and this is a theory, and I want to be very clear on this because none of us were there in the beginning of time. We cannot say with any surety, but there is a sense of knowledge base out there that will allow us to say certain things. So we've broken it up into 12 months, and we've said that the very first moment of the very first year of the cosmic reality, what is today called the Big Bang, what the ancient Kemites called Nun, or Ptah, the conversion of energy, that humanity, in fact, doesn't even come into place until December. And this is why we have the December month here, because so much happens this last month right here. So what we're dealing with in reality, if you want to talk about the history of man, you've got to talk about the history of the cosmos. To understand the history of the cosmos, you go to the primary source, which we call the Shabaka stone. There are the pyramid texts, the coffin texts, the Bremerin papyrus. Dr. Theophilio Benga has looked at over 77 documents. Sheikh Anta Diop has looked at numerous documents that unfold this story. And one thing is that the story doesn't begin on Earth. And that's the key. And what locks us into this shallow mentality as an African people, what confuses us most, is that we are confining ourselves to where the European was confined, and that is Earth. The European, by nature of him herself, could not survive in space. Because the essence of the mutation of the Africans going to the Europoid state cancel out the nature of what keeps them alive in space, which is melanin. Melanin is what makes this whole cosmos. It is the life of the cosmos. It is in the blackness that light comes. So here in the very beginning of this cosmic reality, if you want to talk about the origins of man, we're dealing with this Big Bang. And from this Big Bang, scientifically speaking, particles, pieces, essences of life scatter throughout the cosmos. In other words, this seed, the Dogon called Kizi Uzi, from this seed, what the Kemites called Atun, from this seed that is encased all of this life, it explodes like an egg and it begins to move apart. And what happens is that superclusters are formed from this Big Bang. Superclusters then continue to grow and expand, and superclusters become clusters. So as you move into January and February, you're dealing with the supercluster life. So the early form of humanity dealt with being in the supercluster. And then superclusters began to give off pieces of itself, and then clusters were formed within the superclusters. And then within the clusters, they began to give off and to give birth to different universes and different realities. And clusters gave birth in the month of May and June to galaxies. And then galaxies began to throw pieces of itself off, and then star formations came into being. And then from star formations came planetary formations. And then what we have is that as you move into the last quarter, or I should say the last third of the cosmic year, in the month of September, in particular, on September 14th, the Earth came to be. If we were to break this down scientifically, the Earth would have come into existence in this great cosmic year on September 14th. On September 25th, the origin of life, or organic life, the assimilation of carbon, in other words, the melanic state being transformed on Earth, occurred on September 25th. And this organic life, this assimilation of carbon, occurred within the ponds, the oceans, and the waters of our Earth. On the 26th of September came molecular organization. Molecules began to order and arrange themselves. They began to reorder and rearrange themselves with other molecules. And then the different kinds of essences on Earth came to be, again, within the waters. In October, you would have had the stuff of life, which is the creation of life, was in abundance. In other words, through geometric progression, every month, by the way, represents almost, and this is just throwing out a figure, a little over 1 billion years, every month. Organic molecules begin coming into being through nuclear fusion, thermonuclear reaction, and reactions of them both coming together. This is all science, but this is deeply embedded in the Shabaka stone. This is why you can see that if we were to talk about humanity, and I just jumped into talking about the different forms of humanity, look how much of our history is missed, because clearly humanity existed from the very first moment of existence, but what needed to be was Kepra, or what the Kemites deciphered to be the process of becoming the transformation, the perfectibility of the cosmos, the God force coming to know him herself. Plants come to be in October, and multicellular beings within the waters come to be. In November, organic copulation, in other words, the coming together of sex, began approximately in November. The concept of two opposites coming together to create itself, to redo itself, comes to be. To regenerate itself comes to be. The law of polarity, in other words, is here. And then, of course, you have the microcosmos. In other words, the essences of these molecules coming together then begin to reflect the larger macrocosm. In other words, everything that exists becomes a small picture of the larger picture. Now, in December, as you can see, I don't even try to put anything here, because in December, through quantum understanding, we see that there are many things occurring on Earth. And of course, on December 1st, photosynthesis, a very important process, begins to take shape here on this planet. And then we were jumping the Precambrian age from the 2nd of December until approximately the 14th of December. So these basic 2 weeks show life in the waters. This is when all of the life in the waters start to come. And then on the 15th, you have a proliferation of life. In other words, life is just in abundance. It's all in the waters. It is in plant form. It is in the multicellular forms. It's in a number of different kinds of activities. When you come to the 17th, you start to look at creatures becoming, in essence. You begin to see these molecules creating essences of life. And the tribbolite was one of the ones that was created. It's like a squid-like creature. In the 19th of December comes the age of fishes. Now you're really looking at the earth formulating itself, because now you have the age of the fishes coming to be, where the fish and the vertebrates are in the water. On the 20th, the plants colonize land. In other words, this is where organic life comes on earth. Now, I know this is a sensitive issue. I know that from a Judeo-Christian ethic, I may not be discussing it the way it would be discussed, but I am a creationist. I believe that there was a creation, a God concept that created it. But I also believe that what was created went through evolutionary stages. It is so close to a fairy tale for me to believe that the first two humans were born adults on earth. That's like trying to get me to believe that there was a wolf that ate Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother and was in the bed waiting for Little Red Riding Hood. I have as much chance believing that story as I would a story of a human being being born as an adult. And it is time now, at least in my perspective, it is hard for me to continue this. It's like winking at stories so that we can get children to believe them. And I think it's time that we come to a reality that there was an African God concept, and that this concept evolved and went through stages. And the proof of it is that we are going through this stage to this very day. We are getting better. We see our young people smarter today than we were. I remember our adults telling us that we were smarter than they were. And I remember my father telling me that his father used to say he was smarter than his father. And that's because every generation is born with all of the information of the preceding generation. Hopefully, each generation should get better by the nature of the improvement of that particular generation's knowledge and wisdom. So I come before you with this information only to share it with you. This is not a belief system. I believe that I'm deeply spiritual, but Adam and Eve is just not a story that I can feel comfortable with in believing how I came into existence, particularly when I see so much evidence to the contrary. On the 22nd of December, the winged insects, the amphibians being these reptiles now, these fishes, who are now coming up out of the water, and they're using their fins as sort of like feet. Because remember, the water is now drying up on Earth, and there are ponds created that they got to get from one water level to another, and that process sometimes made them go on land, and they would just crawl across. And those that survived were the ones that continued. The ones that were caught on the land didn't continue. So survival has a lot to do with the evolution of life on Earth.